Right. Good evening, everybody. Good morning for the ones here in Indy. I'm Pujita. I'm the current president of Desijags, and I'm a master's student here at IUPUI in bioinformatics. And Desijags, we have the Desijags team here. We'll be conducting the meet and greet session. We do this every semester. We are happy to have one for the upcoming spring semester. And in this session, let me just briefly go through what all we'll be talking about. So we'll be talking about immigrations, or your visa, registrations for classes, fee payments, your housing, on-campus jobs, the EAP exams, frauds and scams that you should be aware of, how would you get a driving license, um, and also we'll have few more Q&A sessions where, so please don't interrupt when our other participants and other hosts are talking during the meeting. So let me briefly introduce you to everybody else on the host. We have Isha Gupta, who is the Vice President of Student Affairs. She is pursuing her master's in electrical engineering. We have Manan Desai, who's a reservationalist, who's doing master's in mechanical engineering. We have Krishna Akki, who's the founder of Desijags, and he had done his master's in computer science here at IU. And we have Swapnavidur Daulatabad, who's the co-founder. He's pursuing his PhD in bioinformatics. We have Ikshita Reddy, who is the member of Student Affairs. She's pursuing her master's in HCI. We have Sanjana Pachipulusu, who's also doing her master's in HCI, and she's also a member of Student Affairs. We have Dhaval, who is also a member of Student Affairs, and he is pursuing his master's in HCI again. Sanjay Vardhan, who is a member of alumni relations, and he is doing his undergrad in electrical engineering. We have Lakshmi, who is doing a master's in electrical engineering, and Chaitanya Tambad, who is doing a master's in electrical engineering again, and they're also members of alumni relations. So these are all going to be the Desijags team members who are going to be addressing all your questions. So as I've discussed the flow of the meeting, we'll be addressing few general questions that usually are on your mind and stuff. But after that, we'll be having a Q&A. So until then, please don't interrupt the flow. But you can meanwhile put your questions on chat, and our team members will make sure they answer them. If not, at the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A so we can have everybody of you ask questions at that time. Also, we'll be having breakout rooms at the end of the session, so you can go into your respective departments and we'll address your questions pertaining to your department specifically at that time. And before we begin the session, the last thing that I want all of you to do is please, it's a request that you could switch on your videos so we are familiar with your faces while we have the session. It would be great if you could do that. Thank you. All right. So let me have the first question about visa approvals. So what after you get your visa approved? Manan, would you be able to answer that question for us?
Yes, Pujita, thank you so much for this. So once after you are able to secure your visa, the first thing comes is to inform the Office of International Affairs and your particular department that your visa has been approved. And the second thing which comes in the list is do find out about your courses and when before what date you need to register for it. Typically, it is always advised to register for the courses before the deadline. And also, like, since you are registering for the course, please make sure you carry all the required documentation for the immigration as well. Documents like your I-20, your DS-160, the basic documents which you fill up from India and get in India from the university. And after you have securely collected all your documents, the first thing comes is to start looking for the accommodation and booking for the flights. Since you guys are coming in the spring, the flight rates are gonna be too high. Like it's the month, the December is the month when the flight rates are very high. So start looking for your flights and accommodation. And alternatively, you can also start looking for, like, are you required to give an EAP exam? Like, if yes, then you can also give it from India, or you can schedule an appointment in the university. And the last thing is to check the Desijags frequently asked questions about what to do after your visa gets approved. And you can also post questions in the group. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Manan, for that. The next question that we want to talk about is, what are the things that you must carry? Are there any things that we are not supposed to carry? This is for like pertaining to during your travel. So, Manan, would you be able to answer that as well?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for this again. So, like, since you guys are arriving in the spring, we expect that winters are going to be very harsh, since this is the peak winter period. So, like, it is always advised to carry a couple of medium to puffer jackets. We completely understand that these jackets might not be fully able to save you from the harsh wind blowing here, but it will definitely help you in the initial days. And then once you land in the United States, you can always have your winter jackets from here, and the gloves, the earmuffs, and etc. So yes, this is the one of the most basic things which you can carry from India. And also, if possible, that you can buy those jackets from the airport custom duty store, yeah, which are more helpful during the winters in here. And like, this is for the clothing and accessories thing. But when it comes to cooking and your accommodation, like, it is a good idea to carry a 3 or 4 liter cooker, a non-stick pan, a spatula, and a medium-sized cooking pot. These are like the cooking utensils which you can carry. And apart from that, you can carry all the basic spices which you like to be included in your food, like in decent quantity, since the weight is also an issue while carrying it from India. And you plates, cutlery, glasses, and other things can be taken from here, since they need to be dishwasher safe. So it is always a good idea to buy it from here rather than carrying it from India. And like, these are the basic things you need to take care of while you are packing for your trip to the States. Rest all can be managed easily over here once you arrive here, and once you have found your accommodation with your roommates. Yep. I guess that is it for the things to carry. Thank you.
All right. The next thing that we would like to address is about your Bursar bills. So, how do you pay the Bursar bill and when will it be due? Double, can you please answer that question for us?
Yeah. Um, so for the Versa bill, you would have to like open the website of one.iu.edu, and once you log in with your campus email ID, you'll see various options from that. And after, you can just simply search that view or pay Versa bill from the search bar, and you'll see an option to uh, check the Versa bill. If and all the university has uploaded it, it would be I guess uploaded once you reach here, and they might give you a date when the actual amount would be correctly reflected on it. Once that is done, you can click on it, and you can see a make a payment option on the left side vertical menu, which would appear after clicking on that. And you would also have flexibility to pay it in parts if you're not able to pay it in one time payment. There would be basically three type of methods that you can use to do that. There's Flywire, there's Pay My Tuition, and all. So mostly people prefer Flywire. That's what we have seen, and it also would depend on the loan, the loan that you have taken from which bank, and how, if they require any particular method to be followed to generate the request for the payment. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's it for the bill payment.
All right. Thank you, Dawil. And the next question is, how do you like register to classes? Because that's how the bill is generated. Dawil, would you like to answer that as well?
Yeah, yeah. So same, you have to visit the same website for registering the classes as well. It's one.iu.edu. Um, after logging in, you will just search student center, and in the student center is basically where you can see your enrollment classes, and other schedules that you can check out even if you're after you're enrolled as well. So once you get in the student center, you can see an option of class search. I'm assuming that you can get all the details of the classes on the website from your course section, and you can just search for the code of the classes directly and add it to the cart. And if you're confirmed that you want to take that course, you can just directly enroll it from that place as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dawil. So one more thing that after you come to Indy is finding accommodations. So how would you find permanent or temporary accommodations? Isha, can you please answer that question?
Sure, I would love to. So basically, we have a Facebook group. You can go there and check for vacancies. You can post on the Facebook group like you want a roommate or something of that sort. We have also created an Excel sheet that is mentioned in the description box of the WhatsApp group that you guys are a part of. Um, you guys can always put in your names there, your preferences, and then according to the preferences, you can select your roommates, make contact with your roommates, make groups of four if you guys want to share a 2 BHK apartment or so generally people here what they do is they take a 2 BHK apartment and then they share the rooms within the amongst like the four people. So um, you can make your groups accordingly according to your preferences and then submit the applications. You can submit the applications online, going on the apartments website and just submitting the applications there. We have already taken a session on that. um, Apart from that, no temporary accommodation is available from IUPUI. You will have to accommodate yourself uh, like amongst your peers using like the Airbnbs or hotels or any other accommodation that you guys find. If you do not find any help, just reach out to us and we can figure something out always.
All right. Thank you, Isha, for that. I know many of you are still looking up for accommodations, the permanent and temporary accommodations. And Isha said, I can't emphasize more on that. You should look up more into the Facebook groups and try to reach out more on the groups itself so that you can find more people or more friends whom you can potentially have like roommates for the semester. So the next thing, most important thing that I want to address is about the immunizations. So what are the immunizations that you require and how do you take these vaccines? And does the health insurance cover them? Ikshita, would you like to take that question up and address it, please?
Yes, yes, Pooja. So there are three vaccines that are mainly required besides the COVID vaccine. That is the Tdap, varicella, and the MMR. If you have taken it in India and if you are able to successfully upload it, so there is a portal called MedPlus Proctor where you're supposed to upload these documents. You can find this on one.iu. You have to create your profile and upload these documents. If you have taken it in India, well and good. If you haven't taken it or if you are not planning to take it, that's also fine because all your vaccines are covered under your insurance. And if you are uncertain as to, I have taken it in childhood, but I do not have the documents anymore. So you can come here and take up the test. But that test, so before taking any test or vaccine, just make sure that you ensure at the Coleman Hall that will this be charged for me. If post that test, if there is any vaccine which you haven't taken, then you won't be charged for that test. But if you have taken, I mean, if all the vaccines have been immunized, I mean, you're immune to that, then you need not, I mean, you need to pay for it. So please make sure that whenever you're going for any test, ask them beforehand that will I be charged for this or not. Yeah, besides that, don't try to upload any fake documents. Just try to be authentic because you also want to keep yourself safe here. Yeah, and all this is done here in the campus in Coleman Hall. You will find the directions of this in once you reach here.
All right. Thank you, Ikshita, for that. The next thing is, are there any clinics or hospitals that accept IUPUI health insurance, and how do we claim like insurance bills and if you have that, if you use that facility anytime? So we do have campus center clinic, we have the Coleman Hall, we have the University Hospital and IU Methodist. So the Coleman Hall is the one that usually we go for vaccines, or if you want to take up an appointment, you can take up an appointment and meet any particular doctor for anything that you want to look for. But for walk-in, you mostly go to IU Methodist, and it takes some hours. But if you want to go for any emergency cases, then that is the place that you usually visit. And the Anthem card is the one, the health insurance that's provided by you, and that's accepted almost everywhere. And you can show this insurance card at the registration itself. And when you want to claim it, you can claim it at the registration, or you can claim it once the bill is generated, depending upon it either gets generated on your browser, and it also gets generated on your insurance itself. So that's how you claim it directly. And I think that's what I wanted to talk about the insurance cards. The next thing that we'd be addressing is about jobs. So are there job portals or any online listings where there is TARA or any graduate assistant or campus jobs publicly listed? And is there any specific ways that you can go about for finding part-time jobs? Manan, can you address this?
Certainly, yes. Typically the teaching assistant, the research assistant, and graduate assistant posts are given with the scholarship at the time of your admission, and there are no separate application or forms need to be filled for this. However, these posts can also be acquired like by maintaining a good rapport with the professors, with certain professors, and say for example, if they have any opening for any of their project, then students might get a chance to directly apply for the same. In addition to this, there are a few more ways to get on-campus job. One is through like the Handshake app and the Handshake website, where you need to create your profile and upload your resume, and then you need to keep on applying through Handshake. And the other one is through referrals. Say for example, if any of the senior or any of your friend or roommate is working somewhere, can refer you for the same kind of job or for the similar pattern of the jobs. And one other way is to visit the offices of mass recruiters. By mass recruiters, I mean the campus center, which is the campus center building in the university, the university library, the university parking, UITS as the technical services located in SOIC and other places. and the catering services, which consist of the chartwells and everything. So these are the some of the mass recruiters where you can visit the offices and try to find on-campus jobs. And the last part to this is to always attend the part-time job fairs, which are conducted every semester on campus, and try to find the part-time or on-campus jobs. And I guess like this is pretty much about like how to find the part-time on-campus jobs. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Manan. For did you also brief about the process of applying for on-campus jobs?
Yes, sure, definitely. So, as I earlier said, there are two ways. The one is the handshake and the other is the referrals. So on handshake, you need to search for handshake on one.iu. Uh, just to keep in mind one thing, unless you have enrolled for your courses, the handshake won't have you won't have an access to the handshake. After you have successfully enrolled for the courses, within 24 hours of your enrollment, you will automatically gain access to the handshake. And once you have access to the handshake, you can fill out the form and the application and upload your resume. It is very similar to LinkedIn or any other job application previously filled, or you just have to fill up your basic details, your educational details, your interest area, and everything is done. And then you can scroll and browse for the jobs by applying filters, say for example part-time and on campus, and you can keep applying to the departments you like by submitting your resume. Some do ask for cover letters, some do not ask for cover letter. And this is the process to apply for jobs through Handshake. And the other thing, just like I mentioned before, is referrals. Then you need to directly email the department head, like if they are interested in taking a look at your resume, if they are interested in taking up more people for their particular project or particular thing. And then if they are interested, you can just submit your resume through email or any other web portal they provide you, and then you can go ahead. So yeah, this is pretty much about the process of applying for on-campus jobs. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Manan. So the next thing is like, how do you secure an internship or part-time? Like, is it risky to work off campus? Is most of the questions that we get from the students. So Isha, would you like to address that?
Sure. So, part-time jobs and internships are two different things. So, for securing an internship, I would say just register yourself on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best place to look for jobs, be it full-time, be it um, internship. You can also use other job portals like Glassdoor and other job portals basically. So there's this Handshake that Manan just spoke about. You can also find out about your internships on Handshake. Other than that, college campus fairs, there are like multiple college campus fairs that you'll find here. You should definitely go and attend that to secure internships. I think that is the easiest way one can find internships. About part-time jobs and if you can work off campus, I would definitely not recommend working off campus because it is illegal here. Um, an F1 student can only work like 20 hours of on-campus work, that is part-time, and it should strictly be on campus and not off campus. If you still risk your career working off campus, if you get caught, you would be deported, and you would not be given any protection basically. So we highly recommend not to work off campus.
Yep. Great. Thank you, Isha, for that. The next question that we've been asked by a lot of students is about living expenses. So, how do we go about rent, electricity, Wi-Fi, and everything? Isha, would you like to address that as well?
Yeah, definitely. So budgeting is a very important task here as a student, right? So most of your expenses would be the major expenses I'm talking about are the rent, the electricity, Wi-Fi, um, and other than that would be like your groceries. And so most of it, you can cover that from your part-time job that you'd be doing, be it RA, be it TA, be it any other campus job that you're doing. So if you are so I'll just consider a very common example that be like 2 BHK apartment, and 4 people are sharing the room, for example. So the rent generally here is like $1,400 on an average. So if you share a room between like 4 people, share an apartment between like 4 people, so rent would be around like $350 plus like around $100 electricity and like $30, maybe $30-$40 Wi-Fi according to your plan and according to your usage. So that comes out to be around like $450 monthly on your housing and like around $100 on your groceries. That would just depend upon how much you um, need to spend. So on an average, like 500 to $550 of major expenses that you can focus at. And once you do a part time here, I think you can easily get like around $700 monthly minimum. I'm talking about, so that can easily cover your living expenses.
Awesome. Thank you, Isha. Now, let's talk about how we can get a SIM card in USA and like what is more preferable if you have to go with a family plan or prepaid plan or a postpaid plan. So, Sanjay, can you address that for us, please?
Oh yeah, so it's pretty easy to get a SIM card. Like once you come here, I would say it's good to like get it on like first year, second day here. Yeah, there are a lot of big carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile, etc., who have like very good plans. First, make sure like when you come here, like you make sure your phones are compatible with the network here. Like you can get it tested in the store only. And once you do that, like most of the Samsung models and like Samsung iPhones, most of them work. Some Chinese brand phones do not work, so make sure that to check that like before if you can. But yeah, uh, once you come here and check, do the check, you can buy a SIM card, and for that you have like postpaid and prepaid plans. Prepaid plans is usually you have prepaid plans in like T-Mobile, AT&T, and Mint. They are all right, but postpaid plans tend to have better coverage and data rates. Uh, in postpaid plans, you have to get family bundles to get a good rate. Uh, that would cost you around like $30 a month. And it's usually like a family of 4 or 5. So you can talk to your friends and take plans together like once you come here.
Awesome. Thank you, Sanjay. Um, so now let's move on about and talk about EAP. A lot of students have also asked about that. So can we give the EAP test from India, and what is the process of registering for the test, and how much does this cost? Manan, can you please talk about this?
Yes, definitely. So yes, you can give the EAP test from India as well as you can give the EAP test on campus in the United States as well. Coming to the process for registering for the EAP test. So like if you are required to give an EAP test, the first thing you need to do is to go to 1.io and search for Eximity. And after opening the Eximity portal, you need to create your profile and set up your profile. And once you have successfully set up your profile, you need to let the EAP test department know that you have already set up your profile. And then the EAP test department will send you a confirmation that okay, now we are good to go and book an appointment. And after that, you can start looking for an appointment according to your suitable time. For the convenience of the students, it is available 24/7 and you can book any time. And it like if you're giving it from India and it is a completely online exam, you can book the timings you want, and at that time you need to be present in an empty room. And then you need to if you have your visa already, then you need to show your visa, or you can show any Indian valid ID such like as like driving license or the Aadhaar card, which is acceptable by the EAP test for Indian students. And then you need to give the EAP test. So the fees for this exam is I believe $52. It's a one-time fee. You don't have to pay it over and again. And for the materials to study regarding the EAP test, we have already uploaded in the Spring 23 WhatsApp group. And also for those who joined the group recently, the link for the EAP test materials is already in the group description, wherein you can find all the materials which are like very similar to the actual EAP test. Yep, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Manan. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is fraudulent calls. So how should you avoid any fraudulent calls and what other scams that you need to be aware of? So there have been a lot of scams targeting graduate students and particularly like international students at IUPUI. So the school also emphasizes on this a lot, that SOIC or Indiana University or UC, USCIS and any other organizations will never call you, will never email, text or call you to request money, or they never ask you about your social security number. They do not ask you passwords or any other confidential informations. So make sure to be cautious if anybody asks you this information over call, and make sure you have your SSN card in a secured place. Do not share that number with anybody else. And also do not give any login information for any online accounts that you have. And if any person is claiming that they are some US government officials and they're requesting you to make any transfers or purchase gift cards or pay them with any Zelle or digital currency, do not do it. And if you have anybody calling you like this, ask them either that you'll get back to them through like official government portals, like where you have like the contact numbers of the agencies officially on their websites. Otherwise, do not entertain such calls. There have been a lot of incidents where students have lost a lot of money. uh, they have given like $1,000 gift just because they claim that they are from some government officials, and they say like you have some visa issues, so you need to pay this in order to resolve. So do not entertain such calls, and report if you find such calls to be a scam and everything. So this is very important for you guys to understand, because they mostly target international students. So be cautious about this. The next question that I wanted to address is how do you get a state ID? How do you get a driver's license? And how long would your international driving license, if you have one, would be valid for? Sanjay, would you address that question, please?
Yeah, sure. So if you guys have an Indian driving license, make sure to bring that with you like when you come here, because in the US, like when you go to and apply a driving license, they look for the amount of hours that you've driven. But if you can show that you have already been driving in another country, they usually don't make you go through the learn out permit and all that stuff. Uh, and the learner permit is kind of like a headache because you have to like drive officially for like 25 hours, and like you have to take a driving test and all that stuff. Whereas like once if you show them your international driving license, you can just rent a car and do the test directly. You don't have to like necessarily go through the whole lengthy process of like getting a learner's permit and all that. So if you bring your driving license, if you have a driving license, definitely bring it. And your Indian driving license is also valid here for 3 months. So for 3 months, you can rent cars and you can drive around here with no issues. And if you don't have a driving license or you don't plan to get a driving license, you can always apply for a state ID. This process is very similar. The only difference is like you don't need a driving license. You will need to like bring documents such as like your I-20, your passport, and all the stuff when you're going to apply it. And you can only do that in person once you come here.
Awesome. Thank you,
Mm,
Sanjay, for that.
yeah.
The next thing that I wanted to address about was coming back to accommodations. How can we find off-campus accommodations? How do we sign our lease agreements, and what are the options that we have for renters insurance? So I believe we have shared an Excel sheet of for accommodations already on your groups. If not, please look out for them. We'll reshare them soon again. And there's a list of apartments that we mentioned in the header section of these Excel sheets. So that includes like log fields, gardens, Kennel Square apartments, the Indiana apartments, the Avenue. All of these are some of the regular places where that are close to the university and where a lot of international students stay. So do not go for any other places that are not listed, because it's preferable. Again, it's up to you, but we do not have like a lot of students staying in those areas, and we're not sure if they would be safe for you guys, and how it would be easier for you to commute and everything. So coming to signing a lease, some of the properties do accept like signing the lease online, but most of them prefer in person. So you'll have to come here in person and sign the lease. You can have up to three. I think you can have up to three people who can be like leaseholders with you, and one of you will be the primary leaseholders. And like Isha mentioned earlier, usually if people go for 2 BHK, that's how it's done. One more thing to be mentioned is about the deposits. I think few of them ask for 1 month, but most of them have now been asking for about 3 months deposit. And you also have a renter's insurance, and these renters insurance can be bought from like online, and it can be State Farm, Progressive, Geico, Esurance, and Allstate. These are few insurance that international students usually go about. And you can the process is pretty simple. You can just go to their website, and or you can make a call to them, and you can just follow those steps, so it'll be easy for you guys to do that. The next question that I wanted to address about is scholarships. How many scholarships are available here that we can apply for, and how do we apply for them? Vidur, would you please take that question for us?
Sure. So there's multiple types of scholarships available at IUPUI. The first one is departmental or faculty specific scholarships. These are basically funded by grants from bigger science federations and organizations, but these are for an individual faculty or an individual department. But these are a larger sum, and you students usually get a bigger piece of this. And then there is also the donor-based scholarship, which is more of a school-wide scholarship. And there is school-specific donors and boards and trustees. They basically fund and say that, hey, every year we want to fund these many students and their graduate program. And that's where these funds come from. So I usually see from my experience that students are more likely to get the departmental or faculty based grants, because it's easier to reach out to faculty and tell them like, hey, I'm interested in working with these projects. I can bring these skills to the table and I would like to be supported through scholarship. And it works out well. And it's a much larger sum. Like I said, these donor-based scholarships are much smaller. They're like $500 a semester. And so, but departmental scholarships can take down like a few credits off of your full credit list, and which are a much larger sum compared to the donor-based. So make sure you reach out to the faculty and department and ask them your questions and tell them that, hey, I'm looking for a scholarship. Is there anything available? Which is the most preferred way to actually get a scholarship. Apart from that, the donor-based scholarships are actually available through application from one.iu. Here you can basically look up for multiple types of scholarships that are available for IUPUI students and specific to schools. And be aware that most of them are actually funded through FAFSA. FAFSA is the Federal Student Aid organization, and they need that students are actually citizens of America than international students. So be aware of that, which is one more reason to actually give more preference to department-based scholarships. So reach out to your faculty, ask them for an RA, GA, TA, And once you are at it, you basically ask them, hey, I'm looking for support. I would like some scholarship. And in return, I would like to do a thesis, or like I would like to add more to this project, blah, blah, blah. That would actually improve your skill set. That would actually improve your profile as well as get your scholarship, right? So yeah, these are two main ways to actually apply for scholarships.
All right, thank you, Vidur, for that. The next question that we wanted to address is about airport transportation. A lot of them have been asking questions if IUPUI provides any pickup service from the airport, and if we can reach out to accommodation from India Airport, how would that be? So, Isha and Dhaval, can you please address this question?
Isha, you are
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I can start with it. So, initially, like last semester, we like IUPUI actually started with the airport transportation services for the students. Um, but this semester, due to budget and other issues, they decided to discontinue it for the spring students and probably for the fall. I'm not sure about that yet. So this semester, what you guys can do is once you arrive at the airport, generally the Ubers and the Lyft services here do not accept cash. um, so it would be like difficult for you guys to book a cab from here because I'm sorry, because it would require the US credit or the debit cards, which you guys do not really have right now. So you can use the airport cabs. So once you just like step out of the airport, on the right hand side of the airport, like the main exit, you would just find a green button which is there for the airport cabs, and they take cash. So it wouldn't be a problem for you guys to actually um, get a cab from there. Apart from that, we also have the black car services, which I think Dhaval can elaborate on that.
So yeah, black car services are basically like private cars and SUV cars that you can like pre-book before coming to US. If you have a group that you can book it with. So there are multiple like companies or agencies you can say that provide these services. We will provide a list of them with you once the meeting is done, and you can probably book them, but they are on a pretty expensive side if you don't see any option. Also, in IUPU, around IUPU, there's a group called International Friendships. We are in talks with them to get you guys a transportation. If we see a more amount of like people coming on the same particular day, I guess that can also be an option. We'll also provide you an Excel sheet for that, so you can just enter your date of arrival and the place that you are arriving from, and then we can look if it's possible to make a arrangement of transportation for you at that time.
Also, I would like to add the OIA, that is the Office of International Affairs, has also started a helpline number specifically for the international students in dire need of help. So the number would be active 24 by 7, and it would be active starting December 1st until the 10th of January. So I'm just putting the number in the chat box. And I will also be putting the number in the WhatsApp group if someone misses it. And you can also reach out to them via email if you have any problems while you land at the airport, or any sort of problems uh, related to like IUPUI, or like once you land at the airport, if you are stuck and you do not get any help, just try to contact us or the OIA helpline service. They can he- help you out.
Awesome. Thank you, Isha and Dhaval, for that. Yeah, please let us know if you have more questions about the airport transportation. And as Isha mentioned, we'll be sharing an Excel sheet where you all can fill up for the timings of time and date of your arrival, and we'll see if we can help you out, or if we'll be able to do something with the international friendships, indie friendships group over here. The next last question that I would like to address is about recreational facilities that are available at IUPUI. What are they, and how we can join these sports and cultural clubs? Vidur, can you please answer that for us?
Sure. So recreation at IUPUI is very subsidized. You basically pay a $50 fee at the beginning of the semester, and for the whole semester, you get access to multiple amenities on campus. The first one is the campus gym itself, that is in the campus center, which is pretty good. Like it is not a small one. It's a pretty big gym. But apart from the campus gym, there is also NIFS, the National Institute of Fitness and Sports, which is a national facility, and it has a huge indoor track, and it's a very huge gym with multiple levels of training sessions, and there's constant trainers who can help you in this like design a program for you and for your fitness goals basically. So it's a huge facility. You should definitely check it out when you actually come here. And that also the membership of NETS also is part of the $50 recreation fee that you pay to IUPUI per semester. Usually NIFS membership is $30 per month if you're not an IUPUI student, but if you're an IUPUI student, you get it for $50 for the whole semester, which is like 4 months, which is a pretty good deal. And then there is also an auditorium, which also has multiple basketball and badminton courts, where people also play volleyball, and also a huge Olympic size swimming pool where we had multiple champions who won Olympic medals go from here. And apart from these, we also have other clubs like Desijags Dance Club, which is headed by Apurva. Apurva is not here. She is the ex-president of Desijags. You can reach out to us and we'll put you in touch with the group, and you can audition and you can join this club. We perform at multiple events across campus. And then there is also IUPUI Jacks Cricket Club. We are Indians, we cannot stay without cricket. So we already have a cricket club that plays our tennis ball tournaments in our baseball fields and softball fields. We're trying to go a little higher, but like we haven't figured out ways to actually get into leather ball and stuff. But if you're interested, please reach out to me and I'll put to or Manan. We can put together a newer team. And then there are intramural tournaments also for like soccer and basketball that the campus organizes every semester. It's very low cost, like it's like $15, $20 per registration of a team, and then you can compete with multiple teams across campus, which is also very fun. Recently, people have been starting to play badminton in the natatorium, and they're trying to start a club too. We'll see through that and get that also done by the time you guys are here. So we have a lot of recreation available at IUPUI.
Awesome. Thank you, Vidur, for that. Now, before we move on to the Q&A session, we would like to have some polls for you guys, some questions that are just to know how many of you guys have done these. So let me just quickly do that. Meanwhile, I think you guys can ask questions if you have any, or if there are any unaddressed questions from the chat. Chaitanya and Sanjana, can you just put that ahead so that we can anyone from the team can address them?
Okay, I see a question which is unanswered regarding the immunization. Ex-
Yeah, I'll take it up, Manu.
Yeah,
Uh, so the question goes like, is it mandatory to upload the associated documents with it? Yes, you need to upload the documents, the proof as you have taken it on so and so date, plus there is a template which you have to fill in. So both of those need to be uploaded.
Guys, you can unmute yourself and ask some
yeah,
questions if you wish to. I mean, it's an interactive session. You guys should try to interact with.
yeah. There is one more question regarding the recreation fee. Like, is the $50 recreation fee including the swimming practice and tutorials? Like, if anyone would like to answer that question.
So the swimming lessons are actually not part of the recreation fee. You have to pay separately. Um, you have to pay per hour, and you can do multiple sessions, which I don't think it's too costly either. But I would recommend, if you want to learn swimming in India and come here. So there's another question about the TNRA scholarship thing. Somebody asked, is it possible to actually get scholarship apart from TNRA? Like I said, which is unlikely. I haven't seen that situation. Not at least fully funded. If you want a scholarship that is not part of your research assistant or your graduate assistantship, it is usually the school level scholarship. Like for example, SOIC has this John R. Gibbs scholarship, which is 500 per semester. And that's not related to your TA or RA at all. But you would have to fill out a formal application for the scholarship, and then also put recommendations and compete with multiple people, like in tens, like across 60 people, you get one application given out, one award given out, which is very unlikely to receive, especially competing with multiple levels of grad students who are also PhD students down in there. So it's better to actually put more effort towards the departmental and TARA wise scholarships.
One more question is regarding if someone is reaching late to campus, like session starting from Jan 9, but the person is planning to reach 1 or 2 weeks late, what person needs to do? So the first thing here is to seek the permission for late arrival from the OIA or your particular department. And if you have the permission, then there will be a separate I-20 and there will be a separate letter of permission for that, which you need to show either at the immigration, or if the immigration officer ask you to show the letter. And you need to still enroll for the courses from India as advised from your department or from the OIA. And all the rest details can be provided from the specific department only, since every department functions in a different way when it comes to late arrival. I can share one example from mechanical. For since I am from mechanical, so in mechanical they do allow up to 2 weeks of late arrival, wherein you need to enroll for your courses before arriving to the United States. And if possible, you can attend a few lectures online as well uh, in India. And then once you are into the States and you start joining the university, it is the student's responsibility to cope up with the missed assignments and the missed uh, project meetings, or anything which is missed in terms of course. So yes, this is what needs to be done for the later level. Thank you.
All right, let me try this polls once and we can see. Okay. Can you guys see the questions popped on your screen? Yeah. Okay.
We actually have people from electrical this time.
Okay, let me end the polls and we can see the results. So you guys can see that there are like many students who are still waiting for their visa approvals to be done. So good luck for all of you guys. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And most of the students seem to be from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and other states as well. Okay. Well, that's been majorly because I think even for the departments, we have expected more people to be from health informatics this year. But we have equal number of people from other sources like HCI and computer science, electrical. Nice. We have 4 people at least from the students who are attending this